What's up, Scotty?
What's up, man?
All right, so we're gonna tell the story of our little trip we just did, our little ultralight overnight trip, and then we're going to go through what we actually brought. Doesn't look like I can flip the camera around, so let's just tell the story like this.
All right, right on. So we decided to go for an ultralight overnight on single track bikes, just trying to get on the trail and see how far we could go and how light and tight we could keep everything. We both packed Reckless 10s and then chest rigs from our new pack line. And then I have a 15-liter pack and Pete has a Wildcat 12. So let me show you what I brought along with me.
Let's just do a little bit more about the weather and stuff. So like we were riding single track basically the whole time for 2 days straight. Stuff you'd normally ride on just like a trail bike, right? You're not gonna, this isn't like dual sport terrain. This is like technical single track. And yesterday,
single track, rocks, roots, tight, exposed sections, very tight,
big drop-offs,
big drop-offs,
water crossings,
beautiful views.
Yep.
And we wanted to combine that with sort of the overnight experience. We usually do dual sport or adventure riding. And so we actually packed up in the rain on just due to timing. We decided to actually leave midweek, and it was raining when we left, and we had full rain gear.
Rained all day.
Rained all
day yesterday. Left in the rain, rode in the rain, camped in the rain.
And we made the most of it. It was beautiful, like misty ridges, and as long as you're moving, it was quite comfortable. Thankfully, last night we made the right call. Temps were dropping, and ducked down the road, and sure enough, there was a beautiful campsite just right on the riverside, creekside, and we just hunkered down for the night in our gear. And
it's like 16 hours in the tent. Yeah. 16 hours of our little one-man tent.
16 hours of well-deserved rest.
All right, cool. Let's talk about what you're wearing and then what you brought.
All right, right on. So first, riding gloves. Of course, you're gonna need those. On my chest here, I have a chest rig, phone in one side, InReach in the other. Inside, I got a goggle wipe, snacks, pretty much everything I got there. Then I'm gonna go to on bike in the Reckless 10, leg bag, got a 20-degree down sleeping bag.
What brand is that?
It's a Patagonia bag. So that's in one leg bag.
That's all that's in there.
All that's in there, just compressed down. I went for the warmest sleeping bag I could bring. The other leg bag is Marmot.
Is that the
Limelight, the ultralight one-man tent. A couple random tools that we couldn't fit anywhere else. Adjustable wrench, tire iron. The other half of the tent, and my trusty sleeping pad.
What's your sleeping pad?
Sleeping pad, I have a Neo Air.
That's a Thermarest, right?
Thermarest Neo Air.
Oh, look how wet that is.
Pretty wet.
Got some water.
That's from the tent because I just packed it.
I just
packed it wet.
Good thing it was a one-nighter.
Bag number 2. So essentially, camp on the bike. Nothing else there. Then we go to the bars. I brought my waterproof yet very saturated gloves.
Those are gloves you designed, right?
Yeah, these are some prototypes from Dakine days. Extra volet strap and
prototype handlebar bag.
Prototype handlebar bag filled with snacks.
Holy shit, I want to eat some of that as soon as we're done with this video. That looks delicious.
And then on the front, we have our Oxpock 5-liter pocket attached with volet straps.
So we'll show the volet straps. We just cut little holes in the ridge line on the fender right there.
And then inside, we both packed 2 liters of gas. So I got 2 bottles in here.
And again, we filled up and actually left those because the last 5 miles of trail were about the same as the first 5.
Yeah, so we brought them in and just dumped them in when we needed them. Dumped them in right away. Ditched those in the woods, picked them up on the way back. So now I'll show you what's in my pack. Of course, I have my Liat neck brace on.
So what's that, about a 20-liter pack?
This is a 15-liter pack.
Is that another one you designed?
This is also designed this at Dakine Seeker pack. Got my tent poles for my tent. In the front, I got TP. I got my mountain tickets in here with some hand sanitizer and a lighter.
Just for hand sanitizer for poops, not COVID.
For poops, not COVID. I got an extra meal and a bunch of trash. Some trash that I picked up on the trail and some other trash that I made on the trail. Got my backpacking spoon. More trash. Ziploc bag for keeping some items dry. Cards and cash in that pocket.
In case we get to have to unfuck something with money.
Yeah, headlamp. Multi-tool. Something that I didn't need to bring. This is a adapter for my Ectotherm prototype. Would have been nice to have that.
Oh yeah, it was cold.
Then you go main body of the pack.
It's a sweet pack.
Jackaloft with a beanie and the hood of my Strata base layer.
Everything Ziplocs in the backpack.
These
Yesterday,
are my
anyway.
Strata base layer bottoms. This is my Strata Merino base layer top.
We needed those, man.
It was the pajamas of the dry savior at the end of the day. Got a jet boil, a waterproof layer. This is the M10 from Patagonia. Deluge waterproof breathable pants.
Mosko product. Used to be.
And
Very dirty looking reservoir.
3-liter lumbar reservoir. That's it.
And what's on your body? What are you wearing?
On my body, got workhorse jersey from Mosko Moto. Liat 5.5 chest protector. Graph base layer in here from Mosko Moto. Woodsman pants. Box boots.
Very wet boots.
Yeah, some very, very wet boots. So
Awesome.
that's everything I brought. And then of course, helmet and goggles.
Nice. I'll pass this to you and I'll come on the other side of the camera.
So our
you go.
original concept here, we wanted to go lighter. We didn't want to bring all this crazy, all the clothes and the tents and stuff like that. We were going to just do bivy sacks, but man, with that much rain, we said, oh, it's just, if we'd had to spend 16 hours in the rain in a bivy sack, that would have sucked. So I was so glad to have our one-man tents. Up here on the handlebars, I got my Deluge jacket. Thank God for that. On this trip, I've got all my tools in this prototype of our handlebar bag. Usually I store the tools on the back of the bike, but I had other stuff back there this time. I got a little tiny first aid kit here, volet strap to the molly panel. And then on the other side, I've got a tow rope zip tied to the molly panel. This is my Deluge pants. Just got those stashed on the back. Here in an old dirty muddy sock, I've got a spare tube. We're both running tubeless, but we brought a tube just in case. Put that inside something so we don't wear holes in it while we're riding. On this side, in the dry bag, I've got my Strata top, Strata bottoms. I was wearing those this morning. It was freezing. Got a pillowcase to use as a pillow. And then my sleeping bag, which is a Marmot Phase 20. Down sleeping bag, 850 fill, super comfortable. On the other side, I've got this other dry bag. Everything's so muddy. I've got a pot, which I use Scotty's stove, and if it had been dry, we would have had a wood fire and I would have heated on that. I got the Climate Static 2 sleeping pad, which is pretty small. It's only 1.3 R value, so it's not super insulated. I was a little worried about that last night, but it was okay, especially because we were wet when we got in our sleeping bags. I've got my tent, which is the Marmot Hubba NX one-man tent. Did great. Actually, that's just the tent itself, not the rainfly. The rainfly is stuffed in the leg bag. I didn't put them both in the dry bag because the rainfly was soaked. Got a Lupine 1900 lumen headlamp, which is, I don't have a headlight on my bike, so something had gone wrong. We had to ride out at night. I wanted to have a light just in case. Fortunately, that didn't happen. But I keep that separate from my camping headlamp because I don't want to use up the battery around camp and then have it not function at the moment.
Better to have it, not need it.
Yeah, exactly. So here on my chest rig, got my InReach and InReach Mini, and then I have my phone right next to it. And then inside is where I keep my snacks, my goggle chamois, my headlamp, the
Petzl, a lighter, and then I keep also my little Goal Zero battery pack in there for keeping the phone. We're using our phones for navigation back here.
That was pretty clutch.
Yeah, pretty clutch. So I can just run the cable out of this and into the phone because the phone is also in the chest rig. Keep it charged while I'm riding. So that's it for the chest rig. Let's see.
For any phone navigation, bringing a spare battery, auxiliary battery is critical.
Yeah.
Even if you just plan on being out for the day, sometimes phones can get zapped in the cold. My phone died on the trip and I thought it would last for 2 days easy, but with GPS tracking, it died. So thankfully Pete had brought a charger.
It's also really nice if something goes wrong and you have to do an in-reach rescue and you're using your phone to type and you're out there for an extra 24 hours. It's so nice to have the battery. I've been in that situation when the phones are dying. You can keep your in-reach charged up, you can keep the phone charged up, you can maintain communication. Here on the backpack, this is the Wildcat 12. This is a prototype actually, so this isn't out yet. But I've got the, in the beaver tail, I've got my Jackaloft stashed in a plastic bag. Keep it dry. That was nice. That was the only insulation I had on the trip. I've got 2 very wet Gore-Tex gloves, which I used yesterday but didn't use today because they were too wet, too cold. I had another set of gloves. In here, I've just got my toiletries, a toothbrush, toothpaste, little Ziploc baggie with some Advil. I brought 1 night's worth of dental floss on the trip. Here on the side, I've got my tent poles. Again, we were gonna bring bivvies and not have to bring all this junk, but thank God we have the tent. Got a little hand air pump, just in case something goes wrong with the tires. Here in the top compartment, this was our water filter. We brought tablets also, but this is a little squeeze bottle water filter. It packs up to nothing. And you can put in like 0.8 of a liter at a time and actually squeeze it really fast. It's pretty small for a water filter. Works better than a little pump
Pete
one.
used that and I used the water tablet, so we're gonna see who makes it out safely.
Last of my TP. Yeah, we'll see who gets sick. Just kidding. I have the aqua tabs also. My car keys, that's it for what's in there. And then in the main compartment, got some garbage, some stuff I picked up, some I made, just like Scotty. Some food. That's the hood to my Strata. More food. This is all I have left of food is like 3 pieces of string cheese and a tortilla. I brought my Kindle, which was really nice to have in the tent, man. For 16 hours in the tent, reading about Kit Carson and the American West. And then that's my tortilla. Oh, a dry pair of socks in a Ziploc. I brought that just in case. It turns out I didn't need them. I had wool socks on, my feet were warm, but I did have a dry pair of socks just in case. That was a little luxury I brought. And then 3 liters of water, same as Scotty. So we didn't carry any extra water on this trip, just the water we could put on our backs. We're in the mountains, we're crossing rivers every 45 minutes, so it was no big deal to filter water if we needed it. On my body, I've got the Workhorse jersey, which did great. I've got the Liat, I don't remember what this one's called.
That's a 6.5 chest protector.
6.5.
CE2 front and back.
I got the Graph base layer underneath. I've got the Liat, I think it's called the Airflex elbows, and the Force Field limb tube knees, which are super comfortable. They're not the most protective armor out there, but they're comfortable. And then I got the Woodsman pants, which is like, this was, if ever there was a Woodsman trip, this was a Woodsman trip. I mean, we are in the woods, in the mountains, it's cold, it's wet. We're getting wet branches, water crossings. We had rain yesterday. This is like the ultimate pant for this trip, which makes sense. And then I've got my CD Crossfire boots. So that's it for me, man. That's what we brought.
There you go. That's both piles overnight for two people, 2 days, 1 night. I think if you just added more food to this, you could extend the trip as long as you're willing.
Yeah, it would have been pretty easy to go 3 or 4 nights if we'd had the food and the gas to do it. As it was, we almost ran out of gas just getting back here. Barely made it back.
Yeah, I think with if we'd stashed some more gas at the one intersection, that would have been, at least like peace of mind. And then I think you could easily, pack another food. There's extra food in my bag right now.
So I think this is a really, there's only a few spots in the country where there's like enough mountain single track to do this kind of trip. And this is one of those places where we are right now. And there's a few others around where you've got literally hundreds of miles of single track, which is like mostly, kind of hiking trails, but they're also open to moto. And this is just a great way to explore those places, because a lot of that stuff is like the trail networks are too big to really explore in little day loops from your vehicle. So with this, you could just put this little minimalist camping trip. Like we were really wondering if the weight was going to affect the way the bike's handled, because the riding is technical enough that you wouldn't be able to ride it. If you had to have 2 people get everybody up every root step up or technical rock bit, you just wouldn't have much of a trip. But actually the bikes are handled just like they do normally unladen, because a decent amount of weight was on our backs, and then we just didn't bring that much.
So we were able to ride through some really technical terrain, and the riding was a blast. Like, I didn't feel like we sacrificed anything for the gear we had on the bikes, and that made it really cool. So I just can't wait to do more trips like this.
And we left in some pretty arduous weather that I think anyone doing this kind of trip may postpone a day or two. But just due to our window, we decided to go for it, and it turned out to be a great gear testing, great experiment. It is possible to do it and enjoy it in the rain.
Like really shitty high alpine weather.
Yeah,
cold and wet.
with not much stuff.
We did it, and I can't wait to do more of this, man.
Yeah, I hope this inspires you guys to give it a go.
Right on.